Alright, this wasn't planned at all, guys. I just ran into my new friend Vegan Gains here. How's it going, buddy? Why not just jump into it? So I hit the gym about 4 to 6 days a week. Problem gaining.
What do you want to do? Like, do you want to get stronger?
I would like to, just put a little more shape on me, I think.
I see what you're saying.
The problem I was running into, I would get sick.
With weight loss, getting lean abs, like 80% of its diet, like 20% is training. Mm-hmm. It's pretty much the opposite with gaining muscle.
Oh, okay.
If you want to like get stronger and build muscle, it's like 80% training. What a lot of people fuck up with their training is they don't incorporate progressive overload into their training program.
Okay, break that down for me a little bit.
Say if you're bench pressing 3 sets of 10 with 100 pounds.
Sure.
A lot of people will just do 3 sets of 10 with 100 pounds. Once that gets easy, they'll up the weight, say they'll do 110 pounds, and then 3 sets of 10. And then that'll start to feel a little easy. They'll go up to 120. Well, that's not including progressive overload into the training program, and eventually you're going to get to a point where it'll stay difficult, 3 sets of 10.
Okay.
So what you have to do is you always have to make sure you're doing more total volume, so the amount of total tonnage you're lifting per week.
Okay.
So basically the amount of weight you're doing times the amount of repetitions times the amount of sets, that's basically what your volume is.
Okay.
So say if you're going to do bench press 3 sets of 10 with 120 pounds, you're going to have to add sets each week, even though you don't feel stronger.
Really?
And if you just keep adding in sets, so say you start off with 3 sets of 10, 120 pounds on the bench, keep adding sets each week until you can do 6 sets of 10 with 120.
Now you're talking with the same weight?
Yeah, with the same weight.
And when do you plateau on that? Like when do you move forward?
Usually the point when you move forward is when you can about double the amount of volume you're doing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So if you're starting off with 3 sets of 10, then once you can do 6 sets of 10, then
it's time to move up in weight.
It's usually the point in time where you can move up in weight.
Did you ever experience a point where you were getting sick, like training, were you not feeling
Yeah, that's actually a pretty common thing. It's not like a vegan issue.
No.
It's a very, very real concern for pretty much every athlete, whether you eat meat or not. If you're working really hard, it does lower your immunity, and especially in like public gyms where there's a shit ton of people sweating and
I'm all about hand
people.
sanitizer. Like I actually, little side note, I actually get hand sanitizer before I pick up the weights.
Right. Yeah.
It's a little clean of the weights, just a little germaphobe.
But like it's a very normal thing. It's a huge problem for like really high level athletes. You know, like people in the Olympics.
Well, Brendan Brazier
they get
talks
sick
about
all the
this.
time.
The guy who made Vega, he talks about this in his books. That's why he created Vega, actually, because he was getting sick.
Yeah.
And nothing to do with veganism. It was just the way he just not feeling properly, not understanding how all the macros work together.
That is part of it.
Yeah.
But it's just a normal problem.
Would you say that it's important to trick your body to try different things, to mix it up, or to kind of stick with what you like?
I wouldn't say mixing things up is necessarily the way to go.
Okay.
Like there's that saying, confuse your body.
Yes.
People can take that a little too far.
Yeah.
It's good to vary training methods month to month, like add in different exercises, switch certain things out, go from running to cycling.
Yes, exactly.
It's good to do that, but it has more to do with training specificity.
Okay.
If you're going to train cycling or lift heavy weights for like a month or several months, you're going to get good at doing that specific thing. And then when you do other things like running when you're used to doing cycling, it's going to be difficult.
Right,
so
exactly.
It works a different sort of muscle group. It works your cardiovascular system in a sort of different way.
It's probably also good so you don't stress certain muscles out and you don't overwork.
Yeah, that too.
You get a bit of balance in
that too. But if you want to improve in a certain aspect of your training, so I want to be a really good cyclist, well, then the thing you should focus on is cycling.
Right.
Doing this tricking your body thing, I'm going to do cycling and run stairs and running and all kinds of weird stuff. It's not going to make you a good cyclist. So you do have to keep training specificity in mind.
Right.
The confusing your body thing, it's good to go, switch things up for certain periods of time.
Right.
It's not a good training strategy to just do everything at once. If you want to get good at one thing, then you do have to focus on one thing.
Do you do a lot of running?
No, I can't run at all. My knees are totally messed up.
Really?
Yeah, they dislocate.
So what's your favorite cardio?
Cycling.
activity?
Yeah, cycling's awesome. I just follow kind of standard strength training protocol. Like I'll lift heavy for a few months, then I'll lift lighter for a few months to do volume. But it's not really anything to help me with cardiovascular training, especially right now. I'm just lifting weights just to be as big and strong as I possibly can be.
Right. So what's your goal with strength, with exercise in general?
I just want to be the most all-around badass I can be.
I like
basically.
it. I love that you're not even being modest about it.
Yeah.
I want to be a badass.
Yeah, I want to get as big as I possibly can, as strong as I possibly can, but I also want really good cardio. And
which is so important to have that balance.
It is. It's a good thing to train cardio, and I think a lot of strength athletes really neglect that.
Yes.
And if you train cardio regularly and then you get injured, you maintain muscle much easier if you stop training.
Interesting.
Yeah, so
I didn't know that.
it is important for a number of reasons. Like, it's good for cardiovascular health. And,
exactly. For me, it is the best mental health
totally
boost. It is all around, really. I feel better mentally, emotionally, physically. You know, any way you can think about it. It puts me in a great place.
Yeah,
you know?
I was sick for 3 months. I had viral bronchitis, and I just couldn't do anything, and that made me become really depressed.
Yes.
And what really helped to kick me out of that depression is cycling.
Really?
Yeah, I got a new bike and just started cycling every day, and I just get up, cycle for 30 minutes, do some calisthenics in the morning, like push-ups and stuff, and that really freaking helped.
I love to run since I was a kid. I was never really into sports.
Right.
But being an athlete doesn't necessarily mean you need to be into sports. You know, for me, it was all about running ever since I was a kid, and cycling. Having this injury now, I just had an X-ray and I'm having an ultrasound, and they're worried it might be a stress fracture, whatever it is. You know, it gets you down, man, because I had a routine, waking up every morning, going for a run. But instead of wallowing in self-pity or woe is me, I'm just like, okay, I'm going to switch it up. I jump on the bike.
Biking's fun. I mean,
and go a lot further.
I've always kind of hated running, but a lot of that does have to do with the knee issues I've had.
Sure, of course.
You know, you usually hate things that you suck at. Like, it is true.
I love running because I can run.
Yeah, so, you know, if you suck at something, but then you keep doing it, eventually you'll probably like it once you get good at it.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like
because,
that.
Like, there's exercises I've always hated doing. Like, I've always sucked at bench pressing. I've always just had a weak chest.
Same.
Yeah, I've switched up my routine a bit. I realized that I wasn't training chest properly.
Okay.
And I started getting good at the bench press, and then I ended up liking it. So there's a lot of things that you're just shit at, but if you actually put the time into and the effort into getting good at it, you'll eventually like it.
Would you suggest pick something you like, at least to get started? Because so many people, there's every reason not to exercise. All you need is that one reason to do it, right? So screw what you should be doing or whatever. Find what you like to do and just do it.
Totally.
But I also like what you just said. The more you do something, the better you get at it. Probably the more you're gonna like it.
Yeah.
So I hate weight training so bad. So I will do cardio all day long. I will run on a bike. I'll do whatever. But to get me actually in the gym, sitting down, bench pressing or something, it's a very rare occasion. And in fact, that's usually when I get sick. One, I think I overdo it.
You just burn yourself out.
I think I burn myself out a little bit.
I feel with me, I kind of get sick at doing things that I'm good at. I like just doing things that I'm really terrible at. It's just such a rewarding feeling to do something that you're terrible at, keep doing it, and then you're actually good at it.
I like that. I
think you should kind of look at it that way. There's plenty of things that I hate training, but I spent the time to really get good at them, and it's just the most rewarding feeling ever. You know, you finally beat it. And
absolutely. Well, I can relate to that as a musician.
Things.
Like, you know, as a kid, I kept learning different instruments, and I still do that. You know what I mean? Not as much today. I you know, excuses, but you know, I am a dad, and there's other responsibilities. But you know, just for me, it's the same feeling. You conquer another instrument. It's like I did it.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone's felt this. Like, there's times where you're like, I'm gonna train super fucking hard. I'm gonna diet super hard. Like, just there's something that just triggers you to get super motivated for something. Exactly. I think you can get a little too excited sometimes.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You let yourself down if you don't.
You should kind of ease your way into things.
Okay.
You know, you can't get too excited because, you know, these motivations, they go away very quickly.
Right, so how do you stay motivated then?
I think it's, again, just looking at things in a different way. It goes beyond, oh, I want to look this way, I'd like to be able to, you know, lift a certain amount of weight. Look at it in a way of just self-improvement. Like, you know, I just want to be try to be good at as many things
I
as
like to
can
look
be.
at it as I want to be the best version of myself in all aspects of my life. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean you have to be perfect, because that can sometimes be something that holds you back. Doesn't mean you have to be better than everybody else, you know, unless that motivates you. But for me, it's like, I just want to be the best version of me, because I mean, we got one chance at this life, you know, and why not be the best versions of ourselves, right?
Exactly.
So training is one thing. Now, how about nutritionally? I've got a lot of people in my life who are not vegan, but they're curious. I can see they're curious about veganism, and one of the reasons I don't think they listen to me is because I'm not a jacked vegan, and that's okay. That's not my goal. Like, my goal is to just maybe have a bit of shape, really keep up my cardio so that I feel great. That's my goal, right?
Yeah.
But I have some people I know that really, they want to bulk, and their belief is that, you know,
need meat for protein,
you need, which you break that stereotype, thankfully. Maybe you can help them take the step in maybe incorporating a bit of vegan nutrition into their routine.
Okay, well, first of all, protein's protein, really. There's this idea that, you know, plants don't have the ideal amino acid ratio.
Right.
That's all bullcrap. If you're eating an adequate supply of protein, which if you're a bodybuilder or a powerlifter, like a strength athlete, you ideally want to hit 0.75 grams of protein per pound of body weight. If you're meeting that goal, it's all the same. And there's placebo-controlled studies that have looked at comparing whey protein to soy protein, pea protein, rice protein. Has all the same effect on muscle mass, and actually pea protein was slightly better than whey, so it edged it out. So if you're gonna go by the research, like, pea protein is slightly ahead, but it's pretty much all the same. If you want to incorporate some more vegan foods and you're a bodybuilder, I'd say try to make lentils your staple food. Lentils are just amazing. They're high in protein. They've got a good mix of carbohydrates and protein. You need carbs too to build muscle for energy. They're very high in iron, zinc. Zinc especially is important for men because you lose zinc every time you ejaculate. It's a very, very nutritionally dense food. It's pretty much a perfect staple food if you want to be a plant-based athlete, especially like a bodybuilder. So I look into incorporating a lot of lentils. Tofu is also like an amazing food. It's even more protein dense, and it's really easy to cook with. You can put any flavor into it.
Absolutely.
You know, it sucks up flavor a lot better than chicken.
Do you do supplements?
Yeah, so I do take a Vital House Nutrition Athlete Shake.
Okay.
It's really just for some extra protein.
Sure,
especially
but anyone that's hitting the gym is doing that. That's the thing.
Yeah, pretty much. It's not so important if you're bulking because, you know, you have so much leeway with your calories. But especially if you're dieting, it just gets hard in general to get enough protein to hit that at least 0.75 grams of protein if you're in a caloric deficit. So I take a protein supplement, and I do also supplement with B12, vitamin D, and I take an algae DHA supplement. But
that's exactly what I take, actually. That's really funny.
That's really what anyone should be taking.
Absolutely. I take some iron too. I have been anemic way before I went vegan as a kid. They actually think I lack a certain enzyme or something that helps process it.
Usually when people are iron deficient, it's because they just have some weird absorption issue.
That's exactly what I have, for me. But no, thanks so much, man. This has been fantastic. I really appreciate it. It's very impromptu, everybody. We did not plan this. I just ran into this guy here, and I just had to chat with you.
Yeah, no problem.
So, thanks so much, man. I really appreciate that. Oh, hey, before you go, just one last thing. If you really enjoyed what I'm doing here on The Crazy Vegan, make sure to click that subscribe button. If you really want to support me, you can head on over to my Patreon, where you can support these videos so I can do more of them more frequently, which would be awesome and badass, so I can spread a fun vegan message around the world. Thanks again for watching. See you later.